Roguelites and roguelikes are about maximizing efficiency on each run, and Windblown is no exception to this. Here are 12 tips that will have you dashing to new biomes quicker than ever. Canon. This might sound obvious, but when you first arrive back at the Ark after your first death, you might be unsure where to go since it's just a bunch of floating islands at the moment. Eventually, the smallest spoiler alert ever, but you will populate this place with rescued NPCs, but right now, you don't have many options. To head out on your first run, all you need to do is jump into the cannon, which is located right in the center island right beside your arrival tent, and you will be shot back into the vortex, and hopefully you only need this tip once. Waterfalls. It might not look like there are any secrets to find or hidden areas to explore, but there are plenty of hidden treasure boxes in each biome. You just need to know where to look. The first and easiest area to start exploring is waterfalls. Try dashing through almost every waterfall you see, and odds are you will find one sooner than later that contains hidden loot. The other area to check in the first biome are the edges of cliffs, which is a little harder to explain, but eventually when you see finding the secret areas will become second nature. Always try dashing places that you think might be a secret. Jars. Smashing every jar in the first biome or every robot grunt in the second biome contain currency, which is what you will need to buy little things during each run. Sometimes it will allow you to buy a little bit of health, and other times you can even purchase an encrypted memory. You should also get into this habit because you can upgrade later, which will have health inside each jar as well, which becomes very important. Read. Each weapon is very different in Windblown. Even if there are 3 long swords, they all play very differently, and the key is to read each one to see how to utilize it the very best. The kunai weapon, for example, allows you to teleport behind enemies, and backstabbing does critical damage. Just by reading this simple tip and using the weapon to the best of its ability, you will be dismantling enemies. Balance. That kunai strategy that we just talked about is great, but when you get to bosses, that will become useless as you need to watch the patterns and move fast, making it very hard to backstab. Having 2 strong primary weapons that complement each other is key. Experiment with different combinations that work best for you, but ideally, you would have something for a close melee and something else for range combat. Spending. Spending cogs is done at the White Wolf looking NPC just outside of your tent at the Ark. Initially, there won't be many upgrades to spend on, and there isn't much health in the game, so we would prioritize unlocking the 2 health flask upgrades first. Also, unless you really don't like the starting animal that you picked, don't waste the 50 cogs on Macabra's shop. The only thing that she offers is to allow you to switch animals. Challenges. It might sound more beneficial going farther to skip these challenge rooms, but anytime they show up, you should always do them as they provide rare resources that you need to unlock important, game-changing items back at the Ark. The game hands out these resources pretty slowly elsewhere, but once you become familiar with the combat, these challenge rooms will actually become less of a challenge, resulting in easy money. Gifts. Just like Dead Cells and many other roguelites, you only have 1 life. Getting gifts from fallen soldiers works similar to selecting a boon between biomes in Dead Cells. One of our top curses in Dead Cells was the one that gave you another chance at life after death with 50% health. It's back in Windblown, and you should take the survivor gift as soon as you have the chance. The other gift that should be high priority is the necromancy gift, which gives you 4% health per kill. With limited health in each biome, this could be a game changer by saving you from using your health flasks. Criticals. In most roguelites, critical hits are a nice bonus, but in Windblown, they seem much more essential as regular damage almost just doesn't cut it. Each weapon has a very different way to get a critical hit, so make sure to read and focus on getting critical hits on each weapon that you have all the time. For example, the 3rd consecutive hit on your fish blade is critical, and backstabs on the kunai are critical. Success is only possible with criticals. Alter ability. Criticals are a very important part of your arsenal, but they do pale in comparison to dealing huge damage in 2 ways. The first is by harnessing the power of synergy with your 2 main weapons. In Windblown, this is called the Alter ability. After dealing a certain amount of damage with one weapon, an icon will appear indicating that it's time to use your Alter ability, which is a massive damage dealing combo with your second weapon. And this is absolutely essential. Crystallize. The other way to deal massive damage in Windblown is with finishing moves, which are called Crystallize. Once you have a mini-boss or boss down to a certain amount of low health, a prompt will appear to crystallize. When you first unlock this ability, it will only work on bosses, but you will soon be able to unlock the ability to use this on all enemies, which is very fun and a very smart upgrade. Don't. If you value your time, friends, and family, then don't play. Windblown is extremely addictive, and it doesn't come with a warning. Even though it's just beginning its early access phase, Windblown does what all good roguelites do, and that rewards you with just enough to keep you coming back for more. You always want just one more run, but you can't say that we didn't warn you.
Before leaving, consider subscribing if you learned anything new from the video or enjoyed the vibes. If you're unfamiliar, we're trying to cultivate a community full of positivity that's free from toxicity and negativity. That's everything for today, but until next time, be good to your fellow gamer, but be better to your fellow human.